Alright, step one is to solve the white cross on top and to have the corresponding colors match up with the center cap. To do this, you want to find the edge pieces with white on them, and see, here's one with red. We're going to rotate that up and we're going to spin it where it matches red. So that one's solved. Next one, we look on the bottom of the cube, find your next one. Here's blue. Let's move that over to the blue center. That way we can rotate it up, and that one's solved. Now that's two there. Now the third one, this green one down here, we're going to put it under the green, and we're going to flip it up. Now that one's backwards, this needs to be flipped. So to do that, we hold it with the unsolved piece on the right side, and we go R prime, U, F, U prime. And that fixes the green where it flips that edge piece. Now this one is already next to this solved piece here, so we're going to have to pull it down to the bottom. To do this, on the right side, we're going to hold it on the right and go R prime, D prime, and then R. Now I like to keep my thumb on top here so that I know I'm not moving I'm not messing up what I have fixed here. So R prime, D prime, R. And that moves it down and out. So now that it's out on the bottom D face, we can rotate it freely, move it to the orange. We're going to rotate that up. And that finishes all of the white cross. Now, here's that algorithm again with the piece that is flipped. We'll go R prime, U, F prime, and then U prime. And that fixes it. Again, here is, say you have this piece solved and you have an edge piece here on the right. We're going to go R prime, D prime, R. Again, keeping your thumb on the fixed piece so you don't mess it up. Here it is on the left side. If you have your left side face that's mirrored, so basically the same thing, but you do it with your left hand. And that would be L, D, then L prime. And that pulls it out, or we can line it up with the appropriate color and move it up, and that fixes it. And here's that. We'll go and finish this up. We'll rotate it around to the red, flip it up, find our last piece. There's the orange. We'll do that algorithm here. Next step is to put the white corners solved in between your white cross here. So we're finishing up this first layer completely. To do this, you got two ways to do it. First, with white on top with D moves. So let's do that. We'll find a corner with white on it. Look at the other two colors. This is orange and green. We'll rotate that piece and put it in between the orange and green center caps. And with D moves and R moves, get ready to do this algorithm, which is R prime, D prime, R, D. Now that fixed it with doing it one time. You have to do it up to 5 times. Here's our next one. It's already sitting correctly in between the blue and orange center caps, so that piece is ready to move straight up. So we'll go again, R prime, D prime, R, D. Again, it's not fixed. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. See that? I think that was 5 times. So that put it up correctly. Let's go and find our next one, this one. See, it's already up here, but it's not sitting correctly. So what we do, just like we did in the cross piece with it sitting, a bad piece sitting here, we're going to just start your algorithm, and it'll start cycling that piece around. So we'll go R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And there, that finally put it up correctly. Here's our last one. We got the same thing. It's already sitting in the correct position, but it's not sitting, correct, solved. So we'll do it again. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And there we go. That solves one complete layer of the Rubik's Cube. Alright, the other option is to solve these white corners with white on the bottom. So we'll go and flip the cube over. And now this is to do it with what we call the sexy move, which is R, U, R prime, U prime. And to do this, we'll find a corner with white on it. We'll rotate that corner so it sits in between the corresponding colors here, orange and blue. Now that that's set up, ready to go, we'll do the algorithm R, U, R prime, U prime, 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 R, U, R prime, U prime. Like I said before, up to 5 times, and that will finally put the corner down correctly solved. Go to our next one. Here's this one right in front of us, blue and red. Move that in between the blue and red here. Now that it's ready to go, we will perform sexy move. Repeat. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And that's the last time. And that puts it in. Let's find our next one. Here we go. Now these pieces are already down, but they're not right. So we'll do the sexy move to pull it out. Now that it's out, it's already in its right spot, so we can continue with R, U, R prime, U prime, and that put it down. Here's our last one right here. We'll do that again, and that put it in. Now our first layer is solved. Alright, here's the piece on the right side again, and we'll pair them up the same way, but insert them a little differently. So to pair them up, we'll go U, R, U prime, R prime. That pairs them up right in front of us. Now instead of rotating and putting them in, we're going to do it from the front. With this, we go U prime, F prime, U, F. And that puts it in. Now for the left side, it's the same thing but mirrored. So if it's on the left, we'll start with our left hand, U prime, L prime, U, L. And that pairs them up. Again, we can rotate and do insert like that, which would be rotate U, R, U prime, R prime. Or if you don't want the rotation after you pair them up, we can go, without rotation, it'd be U, F, U prime, F prime, and that pairs them up. I personally like the cube rotation just because it's quicker. Let's do that. A few more examples. On the right side, here's orange and green. The orange is on this side, so we'll start with our right hand. And we'll go U, R, U prime, R prime. That pairs them up, and I like the rotation. Let's finish this up. Here's this one. It's lined up with the T already. The orange is on the left side, so we'll do it with our left. And that puts it in. We got one more to do. Line up the red with red. Green's on the right side. We'll do it with the right hand. So U, R, U prime, R prime. And I like the rotation just because it makes more sense to me. And that finishes your second layer. One more thing about putting these edges in. If you look around the top and there aren't any without yellow on them, then that means it's already down in the slot, but it's not correct. Or check, to see if it's correct. If you see one that you need to pull out, it doesn't matter what you put in there. Basically, just do your algorithms. So we'll do the right side one, and that way, when you look around the top again, you'll have something. Then we can line it up. It's on the right side. And that leaves us with this one, which now we can finish it up. Alright, the next step is to create the yellow cross on top. Now that we've done all that, you'll have three cases for this. You'll have a bar. Now ignore your corners when you're looking at this step. So you'll either have a bar, you'll have an L, like that, or you may just have a dot, which is a little more, you got to do both of them, basically. So we'll start with the bar. For this case, you'll go pull the front down, so F, then do sexy move, which is R, U, R prime, U prime, and then put the F back up, the front back up. And that puts all four. That solves your cross. Second one, the L. You do the same thing, but instead of just the front, you do a lowercase f, which is a wide front turn, which is both layers, and then sexy move, and then F, lowercase f prime, to bring that back up. And that puts all four yellow pieces of the cross up. Now if you have the dot, then you have to do both of those. Start with the F, so go F, sexy move, F prime, fat, lowercase f, right there, sexy move, lowercase f prime, wide, basically. And that puts all four yellow pieces up. Next step is to solve the edges. Let's line up, see what we got lined up. That one green one's lined up, and the red. You'll have two different scenarios for this. You'll either have just two, or you'll have just two or all four. But the two will be in the back, and on the left is how you want to hold it if you have these two. Or you'll have one in front and one in back that are solved. Let's see if we have that. Yeah, this one right here. See, the orange lines up and the red lines up, but these two don't. So if you have just two where they're adjacent to each other, next to each other, then you hold with one in the back, one on the left, and do this algorithm, which is anti-soon with a U prime at the end. It is R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, and then that U prime at the end. And that puts all of your yellow cross pieces where they're solved on the center caps. If you have just the two where they're front and back, then you have to do that twice. So hold it with front and back. And go R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime. You can skip that last U move when you have to do both of them, because that puts these two where they're solved, but these two are not. So you have to hold it with one in the back, one on the left. and repeat, but adding that U prime at the end. So anti-synced with U prime. So R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, U prime. Now that our cross is solved, we got one more step, and that's fixing these corners. So let's do that. First step is to put the yellow, flip these yellow pieces up. Now I got you guys two ways to do this. You can do it with the D moves here, like we did before. First is to keep the yellow up and perform this algorithm. We go R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. Now you have to do that 2 or 4 times to get this yellow flipped up. Make sure you do finish that D move, even though I pulled this up before I finished that 4th move. And then once you do that, rotate the top to your next unsolved pieces in this key spot here. Then continue R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. That finished flipping the yellow up. Continue along all 4 corners if all 4 are flipped around. Second way to do that is to rotate with the Z move, having yellow on the left hand. And we can do, started with rolling the R back. R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U. So we have to do it 2 more times. R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U. And that put it there. And then we rotate this side to this key area we're working with. Repeat that. R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U, yeah. There. Next step is to finish solving these corners. We only got 3 on this cube. So we got 3 here. That's about right. You should have 3, no more than 4, obviously. To do this, we will start with unsolved right here at this little key area. And we're going to pull this out and down by doing R prime, D prime, and then R. Now what you want to do at this step is to look here, see what other 2 colors are on this corner here. So not the yellow, but we got green and orange. So once we see that's green and orange, we'll rotate the top so it's in between the green and orange. So we're going to be putting this back up here. To do that, we'll go R prime, D, R. Cool. So now we look at this corner, at the bottom right corner, and we see that we have green and red. So we got to rotate the top so that it lines up between the green and red right here. And now we got to move this up. So to do that, we're going to go R prime, D, then R. So now we have to look back over here at this corner, and we've got orange and blue. So we rotate the top over to the orange and blue, and we're going to be moving this D face back. So you kind of tell which way you're going because you're either going to look here or here. If it's here, you're going to be moving, back over here. If it's here, you're going to be moving back over there. So we're looking here, so we know this D face is going to go back. But we always start with the R prime first. So we go down, and we know we're moving that piece back. And there we go. Solved it. Let's try that again. A few more examples. It doesn't really matter where you start because you're going to be rotating this. Let's start from this side this time. We got green and orange. We're going to move it down and out. And then the R back up, so that'd be R prime, D prime, R. Then we look at the sticker, we got green and orange. Move it between the green and orange. We'll go R prime, D, R. Now we look at this sticker. We got blue and orange. Move the top between the blue and orange. We'll go R prime, D prime. Sorry, D. Wait, that is D prime. Yeah, D prime. And then R. Now we got one more. Over here, we got the red and green. Move the top over to red and green. Go R prime, D, R. And that solved the cube.